Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MartiniWorks Podcast, the official winners of a podcast award. Did you guys already talk about this?
No,
I don't. I don't know if it's public knowledge yet. I don't know when that gets dropped.
Yeah.
Guess what, boys and girls?
we won an award.
We won an award.
An award.
Was it S3 Magazine?
PAS.
Oh, Pass Mag.
Yeah.
Pass Mag. Heck yeah. So that was super cool. We have no idea if we're supposed to tell you that, but guess what? Podcast boys and girls.
It's my first award I've ever won, so I'll take it.
Get it
Hell yeah.
first. Thank you so much for the support,
Yes,
listening in on automotive news, the aftermarket car culture, and of course, car parts, which by the way, if you're looking for car parts, getting ready for springtime, because if you're up north, you know, that season's coming faster than you think.
Don't feel like it right now.
Don't forget to mod your car at martiniworks.com. We actually just got some new product live on the website, right? BMR, one of those brands, Nokian tires. If you're interested, AEM is now on the site, and right now we are also working on ISR.
That's a big one.
Which is pretty dang cool. In the meantime, though, like I said, if you guys need your tires packaged with your wheels, get them shipped right to your door. So all you got to do is throw them on. You can do that right at martiniworks.com. Plus, we have the good wheels in stock. We have specific Works, Volks, SSRs, Graham lights, Enkis, Koenigs, plus Michelin tires, Continental tires, some Toyos, so that if you pick that stuff up and it's in stock, it can actually get over to you in like 2 to 3 days.
Pretty dang quick.
So with that being said, we actually just returned from Japan.
We did.
For this video, right, Dakota? What do you want to talk about today?
How you doing?
Back in the United States.
Sumimasen.
We got man, it was a trip of a lifetime. We got a lot to unpack here. I'm excited to talk about it. I think first things first, we just kind of talk about that first day and rolling in and travel, and holy cow, it is a mission, to say the least.
It's
to
a haul
to Japan. That is a whole endeavor in itself. I don't think people talk about that.
The travel's a bit.
From the middle of the United States to the other side of the world, it takes a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the first thing I ever learned when I first left, I remember because they have the map where you can see the where the plane is. At one point, I remember looking at them like, where the hell are we? Because like I could see land outside, and I'm like, where could we possibly? We're like 6 hours into this thing. How can I still see land? And then I realized that's not how planes work. They don't just go straight across. They go all the way up,
Shortest
all
distance.
the way to Alaska, and then they pretty much just follow like the skirts of Russia through, and then they land on the other side of
It's
Japan.
an interesting route, but man, you got to be prepared for that 12-hour plane ride. Holy cow. As a bigger man in economy, holy. But it honestly wasn't bad, especially the way there, because there's so much adrenaline, like so excited.
Yeah.
And
Like you don't care about being uncomfortable.
You got movies and stuff, and you're just having fun.
Hour 10, I started
and holy
to care.
cow, they feed you, though. Like, it's like pretty consistently, like meals come by, so it was like...
I found it impossible to sleep on that damn plane because every 5 minutes a fucking cart was coming down the aisle with something.
Yeah.
It was like, God, I had an aisle seat, and usually I'm like, pretty bigger dude. So it's like kind of tucked in a little bit. And it's like, even then, I was still getting smoked by flight attendants and carts, and oh my God. And yeah, it was like the first like 3 hours of that flight, it was just nonstop back and forth. And they chilled for like a couple hours. And then it was just all over again.
Back to chaos.
Yeah.
But then landing and getting to Tokyo, I'd say that airport's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Like for being in another country and another
that
language,
process,
and
honestly was not bad at all.
immigration was easy.
Yeah.
Haneda's really nice, and as long as you have everything ready, you're good to go.
That was, I think, the key, because the line that didn't have everything ready,
those
was
people were
very
frantic.
long.
Yeah, that'll take 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get there. Because if you go to Japan, if you've never been, you have two big things that you really have to do. One is like a disembarkment paperwork. And then another one is essentially a travel memo that you have to also send to the government. You can do both of those in the same online like resource, but a lot of people don't know that they need to do that. They just think that they show up with their visa and you go through immigration, kind of like any other country. But Japan takes their tourism stuff like super serious on how many people are coming in and coming out, and so everything is documented. So like you need to tell them where you're staying, how long you're staying, what are you doing, what city are you staying, or what prefecture you're staying in, and then you get a little QR code. And as long as you have your QR code in your passport, you can get through it in like 5 minutes. Like it'll take you the same amount of time to get through the Detroit TSA.
I think I waited longer for my big to roll out the carousel than actually getting through immigration. So that was super easy.
I've got a really important question for you guys.
Okay.
I know this is an automotive podcast, and I apologize for distracting us so early into it.
No, please do.
How long did it take for you boys to try the Toto? The bidet.
Toto?
Oh, the bidet. Dude, I will say their toilets are so superior.
Yes.
It's better in every way.
It was
every single way.
It
You were really
me.
hyping them up when you came back.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, it's a fucking toilet.
Right.
No, it's not just
It's an experience.
I get it.
You walk into the room and the toilet opens up.
Hello.
Sometimes they even play little songs.
Dakota literally said hello toilet every time he walked into the
I felt like I had to. I didn't know what was going on.
It'd be like 4 a.m. because we're waking up because we're jet lagged. Oh, toilet.
And then you sit down, the toilet's warm.
Yeah.
Immediately. I used it immediately because he hyped it up. And it's they got the toilet thing figured out.
Yeah, they
got some stuff to work on. I won't lie, but the toilet stuff.
What was your number one thing that surprised you about going to Japan that you were just not prepared for, even though you thought you were prepared for it?
The trains, 100%.
Stairs. I was warned dearly about the stairs, specifically from Maggie's brother, who was actually servicing our flight, which was really cool. So that kind of made the trip even more fun. But he was like, well, how are you guys getting from the airport to your Airbnb? And we're like, oh, we're taking the trains. He's like, with all your luggage. We're like, yep. He's like,
okay.
A lot of stairs. You guys are prepared? They're like, yeah, we're good. I was not prepared. I thought maybe a couple flights of stairs or two. No, like a couple flights per station.
Yeah.
The trains are their like own thing. It's its own area with its own rules and its own guidelines and its own responsibilities.
It works really well.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a learning curve.
I just feel like that's the place where if you're going to get judged in Japan, I feel like it's mostly going to be in the trains.
And it's like if you are planning on taking the trains, because like Ubers and taxis, especially like to and from the airport, expensive. So it's like trains are usually like the option I feel like people go with. It is. You do just get thrown into it. Like it gets
especially
wild
Shinjuku.
real quick.
Shinjuku's station, oh my God, that is the most chaotic, neutral thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like everyone's calm, everyone's peaceful, but there's a billion people and there's a billion signs and there's a billion exits. There's like no exits. It's really hard to find the exits.
Yeah.
The exits are probably like the most confusing thing. No matter how many times I go to Japan, it's like the most difficult thing for me is always understanding train station exits and entrances, because it even threw us off when we were going to TAS from where our Airbnb was, which was get off at this Okayu station, get back on Okayu station. And you're like, okay, well, I'm already here.
Yeah.
Platform 3 is right there. Platform 3 is right here. But then it's like, no, you have to exit out of 2A, go back into the other side of the Okayu station of 4B, which is like a block on the corner this way, which gets you access to a different platform 3, and that's the platform that you need to be on. And it's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Google Maps works really, really well unless you're underground.
Yeah.
As soon as you go down those stairs, you're kind of, you better have the right space. Otherwise, it does get really fucky, I noticed.
I think we all kind of got the hang of it by the
near the end of it, we were cruising.
There's still areas where it's like, you kind of guess, and you're just like, if I miss it, I miss it. I'll end up somewhere else, and we'll just try it from there.
So you guys, it was your first time going. There's probably a ton of people listening to the podcast that have always wanted to go to Japan. If not for the cars, then the food. If not for the food, nature. And if not for nature, the culture, right? Yep. What do you guys think was the one thing you experienced and enjoyed the most from your week of being in Japan during Tokyo Auto Salon? What was like the one thing you're like, man, if I could go back and do it, I would?
Man, is everything, dude. Every single thing we did. Like, I think the best advice I could get, there were so many times because of like jet lag, how much you're walking, you want to sit down and you want to rest. Yep. And it's completely understandable. You are tired. Don't just get up and go do something. There was nights where it'd be like 8, 9 p.m. and it's like, if you hit your head on the pillow, you're out. So we'd be like, just get up. Let's like go to the kombini, get some food, a snack, a coffee, whatever. And then we just went and walked and we just went and explored. So it's just like, just keep doing something. Use your time as much as you can while you're there. And that made for some awesome memories.
Time flies when you're there. I noticed it's like, there was like the one day we went out. It was like one of our last days, and we hit up like Akihabara, and then we went to like kind of like near Tokyo, and then back to Shibuya and all that sort of stuff. And it was like, dude, that day flew so bad. Like we went into like one store, we come out, it was like 2 hours past. It was like, holy shit. Like the time flies there. And I think we did a really good job holding kind of all of ourselves accountable. It's like, I know we're tired, but like it was like a once in a lifetime. Like we just got to push through. And it you did get kind of like a runner's high essentially of like catching that second wind. Because we'd get back to like drop stuff off at like the Airbnb or something like that, and it's like, I'm just gonna lay. Nope. We're going because if you fall asleep, you're done.
Speaking of which, the Airbnb was so dope.
That was really cool.
The location, the Airbnb itself, we could go on the roof. It had multiple levels. Our room was nice and big. We had comfortable beds, like all of that. I love the Airbnb.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was essentially a little motel.
Yeah, it was a little motel.
Yeah,
that we just kind of
rented the whole
gosh darn thing.
This is like what 4 or 5 rooms I think total.
Yeah, if you guys are
floors?
hosting a big group, they didn't pay us to say this. Hotel Magnolia, Shinjuku, I think is what it's called. They were absolutely fantastic hosts. They were very, very nice, very sweet, very accommodating. They had spare toothbrushes, pretty much everything that we would need in case we forgot something. And then they were super attentive to the requests that we had because we had 12 people in there. And obviously,
a lot of people to bring to Japan.
Yeah, and checkout was 10 a.m. and flights don't leave until 5. And so we asked if we could keep our bags there, and they let us keep our bags there, which is something that typically people don't do because they don't want to be responsible for your stuff.
That is something to keep in mind. Like carrying your stuff around Japan is kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
like the trains,
avoid that.
The trains get pretty wild.
Yep.
Even a backpack can end up being really heavy over time.
And it's like when we were leaving, we had obviously more stuff than when we came. And it's like a lot of times checkouts are like early in the morning, but our flight was at like 6 o'clock. So it's like, okay, you're kicked out of your place with 8 hours to manage 2 suitcases each in a backpack. What are you doing with that? Because everywhere you go is like this big.
They do have lockers, but they sell out like instantly.
Yep.
But I did just see a post. It's starting like now. 7-Elevens are storing.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
So that'll be cool. Which that was another awesome thing. Right next to our Airbnb was a 7-Eleven. Like a few steps. It wasn't far at all.
It was so nice.
We're never very far from
anything.
Family Mart or 7-Eleven.
Well, like I think that's like Tokyo for sure. But it was a really cool spot because we were in a really nice area, and I was a little worried about it because it was north of Shinjuku. But it had everything. We had a couple streets that had a bunch of food stalls that we went and we explored. Dustin and I, on the last night, we went to just go find a random place to have a drink. Found said random place, had said random drink, and it was absolutely awesome. And then the guy, we asked the individual, we're like, we noticed that you make ramen. And he's like, oh, absolutely. Would you like some? And we're like, sure. He's like, yeah, I learned it from my family. This is how I make it. And then he made us literally on this little, little pot steamer, like just like this little tiny kitchen setup. It was like this guy just randomly decided to make it for us. And it was so fun because then there's darts and there's like the 7-Elevens and Family Marts and all. But then there was like that coffee place that we were able to explore that was just on the other side. Cafe? That was Unity Cafe, and he was really nice.
Oh, he was so hyped every time we came in. Yeah. And the food was fantastic.
Yeah.
And on the first night when we got there, we were like all kind of stammering around trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah. And we're like, let's go find some food. And we stopped at that little tiny ramen shop. We hit that spot up multiple times because it was so good. And it was the tiniest little shop ran by like one guy, maybe two at the most. I usually seen one guy in there. And dude, lemon sours are my new favorite drink of all time. Oh my God, I love them. But the ramen was phenomenal. And like, I don't know if I was expecting them to speak a little more English since we were in the Tokyo area, and most would get by, but like it was pretty straight, shooting Japanese, and the menus didn't have English on them always.
Where we were felt more like small town.
It was a little further away from the required
but
English.
I liked that. Yeah. I really did like that.
And we were able to communicate and figure it out. And
there was a couple times you actually put me on the translate with the AirPods. I don't like having AirPods in when people are talking to me. I hate the way it looks. But I wanted to try it out a couple times. And so on the final day, we went to go check out this like Kochigi Cat Cafe on the north side of town. And then we went to the Peaches Meat, which we'll talk about in the next segment. and all of that. And there was somebody who was trying to talk to me. It was our Uber driver. And so I threw him in and I just said like, sumimasen, and then I pulled up my phone and I just said, could you please repeat that with my translator app?
Yeah.
And he went and he repeated, clear as day.
Nice.
Crazy.
It was so neat, and I wish there was and I like repeated it back in my phone, but it was really cool because typically I would just like show the phone and then they would like smile and nod and then they'd go on their way. But he was actually able to have not conversate but say a couple things that was really, really cool. And the thing that he was talking about was he was like, "Are you going to that cat cafe that's up in that area?" And I was like, "Well, yes." And they're like, "It's really cute. I think you'll like it." And I was like, that's really cool, you know? But it was absolutely fantastic. So I have to ask you guys, because again, you know, there's probably people that would love to go to Japan. 3 tips you have for somebody that hasn't gone to Japan. It's your first time going, so now you know everything about Japan and they know nothing. What would be 3 tips that you'd give them?
One right away, pack less. Pack light. People say it, and you think you pack even lighter than that. It'll just make your life easier. There was even our Airbnb, we had like a washer dryer and stuff, but even around the corner, it was like 3 or 4 washer dryer areas too. So like really utilize it. I know it kind of sucks to like do laundry while you're there, but like you're going to buy stuff. Suitcases are so heavy. If you're traveling with them, it's a ton. Also, number 2, I would say don't be afraid if you need to Uber. It can be more expensive, but some areas aren't as bad, and depending where you're going, it can be quicker, and it can be a lifesaver. You know, if you're getting trapped in the train stations, you know, or sometimes it's just easier to Uber. And everyone we Ubered with was so kind and so nice, and that worked really well. So don't be afraid to use that option, but also use the trains. I think it's a super cool. It's like part of like the culture almost.
Definitely part of like the experience, I would say.
Yeah, so 100% still use them. Don't just Uber everywhere, but don't be afraid to use it if you're in a pinch. I think that works well. And then number 3 for me, kind of leaning back to what I was talking about earlier, explore. Go out, get uncomfortable. Tokyo is a really safe area. Not to say like don't be smart. Obviously be smart. You're still in another country. They have different laws. And there's still dangerous people out there, but like if there is a city to explore and go out even at night, go do it. Like Tokyo is so fascinating and there's so many cool spots and the people are so nice too. And if they see you trying to use Japanese, that'd be another tip. Learn a little bit of Japanese. A little bit goes so far there. So
Gels, what do you got?
I'd say definitely 100%. If you think you have good walking shoes, you don't. Get better walking shoes.
New Balances.
My feet and back killed me pretty much the entire time we were there, and I was relying on I did get a little bit of like a head cold while we were there too, so I was like kind of like relying on some like just like aspirin or like acetaminophen and stuff like meds just to like kind of keep me going, so that did help. Definitely proper shoes. We put on well over 25,000 steps a day, even outside of the show. So we were moving around. Number 2, I would say places do, like food places especially like kind of like in the downtown areas, tend to close a little early.
Yeah.
So like we spent a lot of the day like walking around and doing stuff, and then we're like, oh shit, we should probably go find something to eat. And there was a couple times where we ran into it, like there's not a lot of places open.
Yeah.
So it's like 9 o'clock, like stuff really.
A lot of major stuff closes at 9 o'clock. You can find like late stuff, but the majority of stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
So just keep that in mind. And then the last thing, try stuff. Definitely go and try stuff. It was really cool to see like Maggie go out and like try some like different foods and things like that, and some stuff we really liked, and some stuff we're like, I'm never doing that again. Beef tongue, dude, not a huge fan of.
Do you have cow tongue?
I did.
Cold or hot?
It was hot.
Okay, but here was the thing.
Like seared?
Yeah.
We were walking around and we were trying to find food, and we were in like a mall area, and finally we find a place and they have pictures out front of like grilled steak, and we're like, that looks pretty freaking really good. Hell yeah, let's do that. So we sit down, grab the menus, open it up, and it's just like, wow, it's like, okay, it's like all steak. Okay. I use my Google Translator app. The entire restaurant, the only thing they served was beef tongue, and that was it. I looked up, and that's a thing. I didn't know that was a thing in Japan. Like, there's beef tongue restaurants. It was like after World War II. Obviously, food was harder to come by and stuff like that, so they started utilizing like beef tongue, and it got really popular there. And then thus beef tongue restaurants were born, and they carried on. And so,
dude, just Dakota looks up. He just has this look. He's like, it's all tongue. Everything is tongue. This entire restaurant, tongue. And I'm like, you're fucking. He's like, no, I've literally translated the page. Everything is tongue. And we're like, well, I guess we're trying to.
The good news is I don't mind it. Like, I eat lengua and stuff.
Yeah, lengua's
know?
really good.
And so I'm like, I had an open mind. I'm like, screw it. That's fine with me. I'll get some. The girls and stuff were a little hesitant to only try beef tongue.
They had like beef tail, like ramen or something like that. Maggie said it was really good. She really liked the beef.
I loved it. I thought it was super good. I ate the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was good, but.
I tried my best. The texture really got to me.
It does.
It was
like the taste was good, and it was like with like a nice like rice,
it's
and it
like
had like a side
it's like
around.
kissing a cow.
But,
it was
man,
tough.
It was tough.
Yeah, I think lengua's good. Last time I was in Japan, I was in Osaka. I went to a restaurant that served only tongue, and it was with a friend of mine, and it was good, but it's like a lot. You know, it's like a concentrated dish to only have that. You know, so I get it definitely. Any other tips?
I think kind of like Dakota mentioned too. It's like, you know, you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be jet lagged. Like, don't keep that from. It sounds so easy. But, I'm just gonna like rest for a little bit. It's like,
don't do that.
Just go
Don't
do
do it.
stuff. The time flies so fast.
And
I'm
when
telling
you lay down, you're done.
Yeah.
You are done.
My 3 quick tips before we take a quick break. Number 1, the worst they can say is no. I think a lot of times people get really nervous going into places and like sitting down or like exploring because everything is busy, so you feel like an inconvenience pretty much walking into anywhere. But the good thing to remember is there are literally millions of people in that city doing exactly what you're trying to do, whether that's go into a store, go into a restaurant, eat, have a drink, do anything. So the worst thing that somebody or like a host or an owner of a business can say is like, no, you know, like, no, we can't, you know,
And they
accept
will.
you. And
Yep,
they
and
will.
they
They
will.
will
It's
100.
okay.
They will 100% say, if they look at you and they just don't want to deal with somebody who can't speak, they might just say no, you know. And you kind of have to check your ego a little bit and be like, okay, and then you just literally go to the next place that is 6 feet away, and nobody's going to care. I think just being okay with that. Second big thing is like 7-Eleven and Family Marts and like the Ichiran, the ramen and stuff. Those are all great places. Everybody should do Ichiran at least once. But try other things. Like there are a million different restaurants. Don't fill yourself up just on like sugary bread.
Dude, they're everywhere.
And sandwiches. They're really good.
They are really good,
They are
though.
super good.
Like
but,
amazing.
But I think there was one time we had something. We did Japanese Taco Bell on the last day of Tokyo Auto Salon, and I was a little peeved about it because I didn't want to eat it. And then we ate it. I remember, I think I was talking to Dakota. I was like, that was such a meal wasted. I could have eaten something else, you know? So just don't be afraid to try, you know, things outside of the norm. And then finally, I think the third thing is like attempt. You know, talk about the language barrier and things like that. Like, don't start with English. Try to use the Translate app. Don't start with, like, not responding to people. Like, if they smile back. Like, a lot of times I think people are just so fearful of things that are so different. The worst thing they can say is no. The worst thing they can do is look at you and like roll their eyes, and that's going to be such a rare experience for you.
I feel like a lot all those areas that we went, like obviously, tons of tourists day in day out. Like
They know.
it's
They
very
know.
tough.
There's a bunch of Australians there. Don't you worry about a thing. With that being said, we're going to take a small break, but not before talking about our partner of the MartiniWorks podcast, which is, of course, Continental Tire. They've been an incredible partner for the podcast for a number of years now, and we've actually been blessed to help work with them on the Viking Contact 8. We've got some cars on those right now here in the wintertime, and there are some more sets actually sitting right to the left of me right now, which we're excited to get on a bunch of different platforms. Continental does a great job with their tires. Obviously, we're heading into that springtime season, so if you guys are saving up, highly recommend saving up for some Continental DWS 06 Pluses. If you're looking for something more track-oriented, the ECS 02s are incredible. Finally, if you guys are looking for something that's a little bit more on the budget side, maybe the Continentals are a little bit pricey, you're trying to save a couple bucks, we've had a ton of experience now and a ton of really great feedback on the General G-Max RSs, the A707s, absolutely incredible tires, both of them. So if you guys are looking for a set of tires to pair with your wheels on MartiniWorks.com, we definitely recommend those brands, and we want to say thank you to Continental and General Tire for being a sponsor of the MartiniWorks podcast.
Right back.
So the 2026 Tokyo Auto Salon came and went. There were a few highlights that obviously we get to talk about today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Japanese car culture is always a super exciting one to be a part of because it is a very creative group of individuals. You really do see
So cool.
a very wide variety of cars from Garage Active released their narrow body full carbon kit, which looked, I think, better than their wide body kit. Absolutely incredible looking car. Liberty Walk launched Liberty Walk Kids, which is a really cool thing that they're doing to try and get like the younger generation of automotive enthusiasts into the car culture. They also released a chop top R35 with supercar advocates that looked, I think, really good. Every version of a K car had some sort of wide body, super cool kit on it.
It was like mini car central over there.
Yeah, they love making.
I don't know if that was a thing last year, but like, dude, every freaking aisle I went down, there was just like a tiny version of an NSX or R35
like,
Supra.
Done so well.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like if a car was shrunk, that's what it would look like.
The one so we were walking through, there was I don't know what it was, but it was some little K car, and it was turned into an NSX. I thought it was a legit NSX because NSX are typically like they're already like pretty small. And like we were coming down the escalator, it was like, oh, the NSX right there in Dakota. Oh, we gotta do a video on that. We gotta do a video. I'm like, okay, it just looks like a normal NSX, quote unquote. And then we walked out. I'm like, dude, this thing is like half the size of one. What the hell is going on? It looked that good.
I think I told you guys, like, when you go there and you see these cars, like they're so well done,
dude,
that it just looks like a production car. Like all those little mini cars, even like there was a Copen Daihatsu GTK that had a Nissan R35 body kit on it from Liberty Walk. And like you're looking at it and you're like, that looks really good. Like that doesn't look bad at all.
No.
Like the proportions are a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah.
But like it all looks good. I think the mini R32 that Pandem did was super sick. If you guys are wondering, that's a Suzuki Twin that's hiding underneath that body kit, and it's using real R32 tails, which I thought was really cool as well. But the thing only has like 60 horsepower.
Jesus.
But it was really cool. You know, you get to see these. It's so neat because there's so many body kit companies over there that are true originators of body kit designs. You know, K Mura I got to run into, and we got to talk about some builds and stuff, and he's awesome. Liberty Walk, you know, those guys like Toshi and all those guys over there. These guys aren't like getting the kit from somewhere else and like rebranding it and selling it in Japan. Like they're designing it there, they're releasing it there. This is their thing. And I think because you have to be so creative, again, because of the constraints that Japan has in terms of car size, engine size, how many cars you can even register and own underneath your own name. Like there's a restriction for that. It just forces you to be so creative with such a limited amount of tools that I think you do get to see cars that you just would never see before.
Yeah, obviously going into it, like the idea behind like Japanese car culture and like the modification scene over there now obviously is like held to like probably like the highest standard, right? And so it's like going in, it's like, all right, I wonder what it's gonna actually be like. Dude, it blew it out of the water. Like it was just insane. Like the caliber of builds, quality, just style, the new releases, like being able to walk through like the Work Wheels booth and the Blitz booth, going to see like all like the top secret cars and like their crazy builds. Liberty Walk doing like these unveils, like their 180SX like super silhouette, gorgeous.
Yeah.
I don't have probably like 50 grand to do that to my 240, but I wish I did because it looks absolutely insane. And like, dude, just every single stop was just something mind-blowing. There was I don't think there was like one thing that I stopped and been like, oh, why is that here?
Right. Right. It was craziness. And yeah, that was one of the coolest parts too, was to finally go to these booths and vendors, and it's like you're at Work Wheels Japan, BBS Japan,
HKS,
Raised Blitz, HK, Top Secret, Up Garage, like all these Japanese brands you've always looked up. Liberty Walk, that booth was insane. There's so many people there. They're just as hyped about Liberty Walk there, probably more so than we are here. So that was really, I guess I never like thought about like the perception in Japan.
Yeah.
Like we think it's cool here, you know, obviously
like
we love that stuff.
Proud of it because it's theirs.
Yeah, they're there and they are just freaking out over this. So it's hard to like get photos of like, I was trying to get photos of like the R35 and it's like, dude, you're fighting people. You're kind of elbowing getting through to get to a spot. And it was so cool to see in person, and you can see how proud everyone is and how happy they are to be there.
And I thought that was really cool. I thought that was super cool.
It's like, that's the culture. That's what makes it so, like, why you get so excited about supporting real brands that really care about what they are delivering out to, you know, aftermarket automotive enthusiasts. Because it's like, it costs money to do that and to host that and to develop an R&D. Like BBS just released the REV7, I think it's called. It's a forged magnesium wheel that they released at Tokyo Auto Salon, you know? And it's like, that is a wheel that took them a ton of time, a ton of research, ton of development time, all of that stuff. And like people are like, oh, well, I'm just going to go get the cheaper one that looks the same. I'm going to go buy the counterfeit version. And it's like, dude, that's so fucked because BBS is like investing all this money into Tokyo Auto Salon, all this money into motorsports. Like they're the official partner for Formula One. They're the official partner for NASCAR. And they're doing all of this stuff and pulling all this data in to make this wheel. It's like, support the real thing. Because like when you go there and you see all those brands, it's them. It's authentically them trying to create something new. Most of them. I would say obviously there's still some that may not be like that, but a lot of them are. I mean, did you guys see how crazy the Veilside booth was with Sun Kang in it?
Yeah.
Nuts.
That was another area. It was like you almost had to, unless you were going to that booth, you had to like avoid that hallway because it was so just dense and packed with people. But did see that, and they had the Drifter movie up, and they were like interviewing people and stuff. That was so cool.
What did you guys think the difference between, you guys have been to SEMA.
Yeah.
You've seen how factories, OEMs, support SEMA. And now you've seen how manufacturers support Tokyo Auto Salon because you were in the Honda booth, I think. You guys were in the Nissan booth, or at least saw the Nissan booth.
Racing, Toyota, and
Toyota, GR, Nismo. What did you guys think? Was there any difference that you noticed between the two?
That's a great question. I think it was fucking absurd that we got to see the reveal of the GRGT and GRGT GT3 prototypes. Like, we were there. That's where it was unveiled to the world, like into the public, you know? Like that was so insane. Like I stood there just jaw on the floor for a while, but
Car's gorgeous, by the way.
It's insane in person. It's perfect.
I think of the big booths at SEMA as well. And it's like they do really cool shit there too. You know, Ford and stuff like that has always pulled out the stops. I don't know if
so in my mind it was like they really kind of leaned into the modification aspect of it and like the racing and stuff. Like I'm thinking back to, and I'm not saying like you go to like SEMA and stuff and you're not going to see like modified cars in those booths, because you do
100%.
But for every modified car, there's like 6 stock versions next to it, all like trim leveled out, right? I remember, I think what was it, the like Toyota at SEMA was like, oh, here's all of the new like Land Cruisers, and here's every single fucking trim option for it in every color. It's like, okay, cool. But then you go to like Toyota and the whole thing is Gazoo Racing.
Yeah, it's
and
all
it's
racing.
so focused, and it's like, dude, they had like the GRGT, the GT3, they had like modified Supras, they had time attack cars in there. The SC300 was just absolutely crazy to have in the back of that booth. Just stuff like that. I feel like even like the Honda booth too, like there were so many like actual race cars in there too, based off of what other cars there were. And I would say even like their main like primary car that they had was at least on some set of wheels, like Rays or Advans or something.
Oh yeah, those
like it at least had like good wheel and
those
tire.
manufacturers get down, dude. Like they do. Like BBS, if it's not BBS, it's Work, and if it's not Work, it's Volk. And those are like the 3 that are on every.
It's a lot of Advans. A
lot of Advans. Yeah, true. I think what's cool, I tried to like ask myself that question too, and I think the difference was in SEMA in the United States, you have the aftermarket automotive, right? They sell wheels or exhausts or something like that. But like any presentation level at the factory or OE level is typically like very non-existent. Any sort of a seminar or thing that's happening at SEMA is usually like a SEMA hosted thing that brings people in to talk about a subject. Yeah. And then if you go to like the New York Auto Show, there will be announcements at the auto show where that's displayed at the booth. That's usually vehicle specific, like a new car, SUV. I think Tokyo Auto Salon kind of takes those things and like merges them together and also removes an element where it's like they almost treat motorsport and aftermarket as if they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Because every booth I saw, they had this huge emphasis on the cars, right? But they always had a stage. They always had people talking. They always had people watching. There were people sitting and listening. And you could hear, because I was using the translator app again when I was standing outside Mazda's, and they were talking about the CX-70, and then I went to the other booth and they were talking about the new GR car development. And it's like these guys will spend every hour on the hour, 20 minutes talking about this like performance car, and hundreds of people will sit there and watch.
Yeah.
And then those guys will leave, and then a couple more hundred will come in, and they'll sit and listen to the same presentation. There's so much of that at Tokyo Auto Salon that I started to think about. I'm like, they really don't do that, like at SEMA.
Yeah, and
there's not like a motorsports side of it.
It's in like some random like conference room kind of thing that you have to go find.
Yeah, it's different, but it was really cool to see because there is like it's cool to see factory backed support.
Yes.
At the ground level towards racing. It's not a intermediary between Nissan and racing. It is Nismo.
Yeah.
They're right there. It's Gazoo Racing right there. It's like these are the guys that are racing. Like these are the people, And
dude, like they took up like the whole back wall of those convention centers.
It was huge sections.
Like just absolutely massive.
I finally got my sweatshirt too from Nissan, which I was very happy about. Becca took it and I don't know where it is now.
Well, so you don't have it.
You should have wore it.
I should have worn it.
Those were his top secret. It's sick.
That looks like a NASCAR shirt.
I know. That's why
that's what they went for.
So heavy.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that looks like straight out of the 90s.
But
I love it.
What do you mean I can walk up to like Smokey Nagata's booth and talk to his employees? Like that is so mind bending to me still.
Yeah.
I legit, I bought top secret trading cards.
Did you open them yet?
No, I'm too scared.
I know, me too. I look at the box and I'm like,
I don't
want to keep it sealed.
I will. Because like they have there's cards in there that are signed by Smokey Nagata, and it's like, or there's potential to have cards in there that are signed.
That's cool.
But like to see those brands all real time, like Blitz, like to walk into the Blitz booth and like all the employees are coming there acting so nice. It's like, you're Blitz. Like I'm scared to even talk to you. This is crazy. Like
you are.
And like being in the HKS, it's so surreal, and it's exactly what you'd think it would be. I was surprised like how like active and big and stuff they are. Like these booths are massive. The cars are insane. All their apparel and stuff. You think of these as like such old like brands, like from like the 90s, early 2000s. Like they're still very much active, dude. Over there. Top Secret booth was one of my favorites. That was sick. To see that in person. Like they had like their modern new gold builds. Like they had the Mark IV Supra with the R35 GTR engine swap, was a VR38 or whatever it is. That was insane. And then they had like their older cars, like the FDRX7, another Mark IV Supra. And to see that in person was just so wild. Like you always see these cars on the internet and stuff, and to be there, it's hard to put into words. It's just absolutely wild.
I'm trying to think of what else was happening at TAS that we really enjoyed.
Dude, so much. We got to see, I know, kind of leading up to it, the GR86 with like the A86 conversion, the Neo 86. Dude, I think they claim it.
I think that was the hardest area to walk through.
That was the one area where I was actually just like, I'm just going with the flow because like I'm getting shoved. Like I'm getting like, dude,
it was everyone like the crowd was moving together.
It was in like kind of just like a like back up against a wall, like really like narrow alleyway, and that car was so popular. That car super sick, by the way.
Very well done.
Very well done. Like it works super well.
It works way better than it should.
Yeah. And it was like if you were to buy it in Japan, like without like shipping costs and import costs and everything like that, I think it came out to like $5,500 for that full conversion.
Yeah,
USD. Which is crazy.
For those listening that don't know this kit, does someone want to go over what it is?
So somebody decided to take the FRS BRZ platform, first generation, and essentially equip it with a AE86 styled front, side, and rear quarter.
It's got pop-ups, baby.
It's got pop-ups, which initially, like we didn't really know how it was gonna look, because there's one. You can make anything look good online, like with the right. You can make anything look good, but seeing it in person, the proportions are darn near perfect.
It worked.
Like
it looked pretty natural.
It looked really natural, but not just that. Like we've seen a couple kits. I saw a couple kits at TAS that were like these old resto, pullbacks to vintage styles that did not look good. Like the way the kit worked in 1970 when the car was like 6 feet long does not look the same on the cars that are now 17 feet long.
Right.
But the GR86, I mean, that thing looked perfect.
I was very impressed by that car.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
I was very impressed just with the overall fit and look of it. I thought they nailed it.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool build to see. It makes me kind of want to buy a shell and do something cool with it. But let's see what else was in there that I thought was really interesting.
Vans.
Yes. Dude, high aces.
They mod vans like no other.
I went into Japan knowing I liked vans. I fucking love vans.
That
dude,
country
they
loves
were,
vans.
Dude, for real. I was like, everyone's like, oh, Japan, they have such small cars. Dude, everywhere I looked, there was giant fucking Hi-Aces and Alfards running around.
That is their vehicle of
everywhere.
choice over there.
And they're huge.
Alfards are nice.
They are, dude. They are VIP. Holy cow! You
got reclining seats.
I was just gonna say, when you did the Uber, did you get a loaded one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's got like the lights in the ceiling. You got like these freaking massage captain chairs.
Dude, they're
that are in
so good.
Holy cow! I've never seen anything like. But at TAS, the modified ones were insane.
Dude, it was crazy. We did a short on one because we were look,
Yeah,
modified vans, that's dope. And we were looking at them like, dude, this got like some interesting mods done to it. Like I kept seeing like Impala badges like all over, and it was like tub, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like this thing is like crazy.
Rowdy.
And I like took a peek on the inside, and the guy came over, the owner, it must have been the owner or whatever, he like kind of came over and he flipped up the one seat, and there's a fucking LS under the seat. It's a Corvette engine. And I'm like, oh, that adds up.
So insane to see. It was so wild.
It kind of, you just reminded me too, Corvette had a booth there for the very first time. And that was really interesting because people were really jazzed about a C8 Corvette.
I thought that was cool.
And I was like, you really like it that much, huh? And the people are taking pictures and like, oh, looking at everything.
And it's so funny because like we're walking by like, oh, God, Corvette booth. All right, I'm gonna go over to the
I'm gonna go check out the vans.
But this was just as popular as everything else. Yeah.
No, it was really cool. If you guys have a chance to go to Tokyo Auto Salon, I definitely recommend it. Like,
And go on Friday.
I would, and go early. Go early. I would say it is not the trickiest, or I'm sorry, it's not the easiest to get out to. You definitely have to like plan the trip, but it's definitely worth it. I think it was a lot of fun. Plus, the afters that were happening like all across the city. I think you guys mentioned, we'll talk about it in the next segment, but like the cars that you guys got to see drive through Shibuya and the Peaches after meet that I got to go to. And I know Bad Seki, something that Sarah Choi, actually, she was a guest on the podcast a few months ago. She just launched her brand that has like K-Mura and a bunch of those guys and gals that are a part of that. So a lot of really cool stuff dropped over the weekend. I think even Ben got to see, a little bit of the aftermath of the pop-up meet that happened at the Tokyo Tower. Which was incredible. Just memories. You know, it's like if you guys have ever listened or watched a video of those meets that happen at like Times Square, and it's just like an ethereal experience. It's like that in a different country. I mean, it is just the most incredible,
just constantly
experience of all time. Yeah, I met so many friends just standing outside of Shibuya Crossing because there were so many cars driving by.
Yeah, it was.
And we had so many friends from Australia that were there, because that's where Australians go if you like cars. You just go hop right on over to Japan. And I had like 7 or 8 cars like pull off to the side, get out, an Australian introduce themselves to me, and then the Japanese owner of the R34 come over and be like, hello. And he's like, this... you know, and he's like, yeah, no language, can't speak to each other. I'm using the Translate app, and I'm like, excuse me, can I take a video of your S13? And that's how I met Akito, which I thought was really, really cool. And we'll talk about that in the next segment. But
I'll say there might have been a language barrier, but cars transcend that language barrier.
Dude,
100%.
Common ground.
Dude, it's the most easy way to connect global culture.
Really, it is.
Really, it is, because that feeling is universal. The feeling of having a car that you're proud of, that you get to share, that kind of expresses who you are, like that's the magic, Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to take a small break, but not before talking about our next partner, the MartiniWorks Podcast. Gels is not the sponsor. Gels is
I was like, damn,
Gels is sponsoring this segment.
I'm just shelling out money for my own podcast.
Yeah.
It just so happens to be my favorite beef jerky company that also makes coilovers, which is Fortune Auto. I say that as there's more bags of beef jerky sitting here.
We should open that up.
Should eat that. That looks really dang good. No, Fortune Auto, they've been a very, very strong partner of the MartiniWorks podcast since the beginning. When we were looking around to bring people on board, they hopped on board immediately. We can't thank them enough, as well as thanking them for making some fantastic freaking coilovers. I'm running them on my 240. I have been for a few years now. Fantastic for just street driving and, of course, getting down on the drift track. Dakota's been running them multiple cars for probably over a decade now. Multiple different platforms. Have absolutely nothing bad to say about them. They are hand assembled right in Virginia. We got to go down and see it from start to finish, when it's just a pile of parts, to being assembled, to being dyno tested and then torn down if it doesn't meet the exact specs, and redone all over again before they go in the box and get sent out the door. They truly are a quality hand assembled coilover that they have a ton of options for, and they're getting more and more every year, it seems like. Even moving into the off-road side of things, which I think is pretty neat, kind of more like the overland stuff with like the Toyotas and things like that. But if you're looking for just a solid all-around coilover 500 series, you can't go wrong with. If you want to step up from that, do some more track-dedicated driving, 510 series, really good option to get into. Again, all those being modular, rebuildable, pretty much a lifetime product. When you buy that set of coilovers, you're supported pretty much as long as you own them. And just really good stuff all around, and they're a really great company to work with. So thank you for Fortunato for sponsoring the podcast, and if you want to check out a set of coilovers for yourself, make sure to do so over at MartiniWorks.com.
All right, this can be one of the hardest things to say, but what was some of your favorite parts of being in Japan? The whole trip, what was the favorites?
Seeing my friends. Honestly, seeing my international friends makes me so happy.
Yeah.
When I was at Peaches, I got to, which was a fantastic meet, very fun. Got to see really cool vans. Got to see, the BMW that won its class at the Texas 2K. Got to see a twin turbo Ferrari Testarossa that was built Wangan style. That the owner is RMC Miami, which is super cool. But I also got to meet the man who helped facilitate the sale and import of that car that we have not showed you guys yet. He came up to me and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hello." He's like, "I'm Mark." I was like, "I'm Alex." He goes, "I helped you with a car," and I said, "Uh-huh."
Oh, right. Oh, that Mark.
And no, he was absolutely awesome. So got to meet up with him, and then got to meet back up with Suzuki, who helps Sun Kang with a lot of the kind of like promotion work for the Drifter movie. Mm-hmm. So I saw him on Monday. He was also at the Veilside booth helping facilitate the mob.
There was quite a bit.
There was. And then obviously seeing like Dustin Williams at Fuji Speedway, seeing Brian at Fuji Speedway.
Oh, yeah, because you spent an extra day out there to go up there and do that.
I did, yeah. I got to spend an extra day at Fuji Speedway. Got to drive the Top Rank Importers built R34 GTR.
How was that? Insane.
Lovely. Really enjoyed that. Really excited to kind of post more content about that day. But got to see some awesome people. Got to see those guys. Ran into Tommy. Got to see all the incredible cars that company like brings in and kind of takes care of. Got to see Built by Legends cars and Mines cars, and oh my god, I mean, just getting to see a fully track built side exit exhaust R34 GTR fly by you down the straights of Fuji Speedway when there's maybe 50 people on that entire building or in that entire like track is just
that's wild.
Just crazy. So that was really cool. But yeah, seeing all the friends. Meeting new ones is always kind of fun because I feel like if you can make a friend over there that knows a little bit of English and you also have like a kind of like a, I don't know, just an attitude of like, let's just figure it out together. You can have so much fun. Like you can go anywhere. They'll take you to places. You get to try new foods. They kind of act as your like impromptu translator, which is always fun. But yeah, I would say like just hanging out with friends. What about you?
Oh man, dude. I think like just going to all like the big areas and just taking all in. I remember like we were coming back from TAS, I think Saturday night when we went to Shibuya. And it was like TAS, like obviously like is crazy with all of the people and everything, but it's like out in this business district.
Yep.
So it's just like couple big skyscrapers here and there, but for the most part it was like pretty open, like a lot of like just empty road and parking for businesses. And we were trying to get our way back to meet up with everyone else in Shibuya. We're getting messed up with the trains a little bit. We said, screw it, let's just hop in an Uber. Dude, when we hopped out of that Uber like right at Shibuya Crossing, we got thrown into the thick of it. And it was like, dude, this is just absolutely insane. So it was like going to all of like those locations, and I would say like out of all the places that we went, Shibuya, we probably saw like the craziest like cars and stuff just rolling around, and it's like that was where it was like, dude, this is everything that I thought it would be. You know, with all like these like, dude, we got out and there was just an R34, like purple R34 GTT, just like sitting on the side of the road. Not too far up from that was like a couple R35s, and then there's S15s driving by, and just like all the craziest shit like going on at once. Yeah, and then just going to like experience all those like different areas, like Akihabara, for instance, I thought was really cool because it had like a lot of like the like gaming stuff and like other hobby stuff. I got to go to like a hobby shop in Japan, and it was like on the 3rd floor of like this tiny building, and it was just packed with like model planes and cars and RC stuff and parts. They actually had like a race going on up there with like the mini Z's and things like that. So I thought that was like just super cool. Yeah, dude, there's just so much to boil it down to, but just overall, like just the general like experience of those big locations.
Mm-hmm. I would say if you guys haven't had a chance, you guys actually found a really cool place to hang out in Shibuya.
Oh, dude, it was fucking
Can you share that?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that existed.
That was one of my favorite parts. Me and Maya were looking around, going through different shops, and on one of the floors, because in Japan you shop vertical.
Yep.
It's so weird. There's just a billion stores in every store, and you go up. In one of the floors, it seemed a little sketchy, and maybe that's the American in me, like just not trusting something that seems too good to be true. But it was 2,500 yen per person, 1 hour, and you get free food, free snacks, free alcohol, free drinks, Red Bull, like all this stuff. And then you have windows facing Shibuya Crossing that like have chairs all on them, lounge area. So we're like, we got to try it. Like on paper, this all sounds so good. I was like, there's probably some hidden fee for like how much you drink or whatever, but fuck it. We're in Tokyo. Let's do it. And we do it. And we're just grabbing drinks at will. We're slamming lemon sours. We're grabbing snacks and eating them and trying goofy shit. And the whole time we're doing this, we're looking out the window and just watching the most insane cars drive by constantly. And we were like, how is this? Like, this is so nuts. Like, every car is modified so well and looks so dope. Like, this doesn't even seem real. Then we're seeing, like, Fast and Furious replica cars go by. The R34s constantly are just, you know, the silver and blue, iconic. But then it's like we seen the Evo from Too Fast, Too Furious drive by. And we're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Then we see Alex. And he's filming a video on an S13. We're like, what? And we're like waving to him. We're doing
yeah. That was a Keto's S13.
Yeah, we saw his car, which is an insane looking car, by the way. We thought it was a Skyline at first when it rolled up, and then I was like, no shit, that's a S13. It was like a coupe Silvia, and he like parked up there, and we're like, dude, that car looks so good. And we're watching everything else, and the next thing we know, I'm like, dude, fucking Alex is like filming a video with it, like out in front of it. I was like, what is going on?
But that was so surreal to just like eat and drink as much as you want for 2,500 yen, which is what, like $10?
It's not much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's around that. It's not much for an hour. And it was like, I don't know what, it was empty. We were like some of the only people there too. So it was like we had our choice of what window we wanted to see. As much drinks and stuff.
I know, that was the thing too. And we were like, what, like 3 or 4 floors up?
Yeah.
So it was a great view.
Oh, fantastic view. It was a perfect view. So just be chilling with your homies, relaxing at one of the coolest spots, most iconic spots
car
in the
spotting.
world, and just car spotting, people watching. Like, there's a trend right now where you run out for the Shibuya Crossing. You try to be the first one out.
Oh my god!
Do like a dance. It's a thing going on. It's kind of an epidemic. And dude,
it needs to be cured.
Well, it's happening because we watch someone eat shit so hard. They full sprinted and they tried to turn for the camera, and when they turned, they just got crossed up and they wham.
So this actually brings up a good point. Something that's really interesting. I don't know if this is why, but Brent was trying to post a video in that area, and it like didn't let him do it. It denied him.
TikTok specifically.
Yeah, TikTok denied him the ability to post in that area, and a part of me has a feeling it's because of that trend. So in case you guys don't know, the Japanese are very polite. They're very respectful, as long as you respect, you know, their culture. But there are many rules. There are lots of rules. There's rules upon rules upon rules upon more rules.
And unwritten rules.
And unwritten rules and written rules. And because you're a tourist, you just kind of go with the flow, and they put up with you that you don't know them. But if you live there or you happen to be Japanese, there's a whole new like level of rule books. And one of the things that I know is generally pretty frowned upon is like being a nuisance in public, like creating attention to oneself for the sake of like safety.
Right.
And so I would not like put it by me if the Japanese government like sent TikTok an email, was like, we're not letting people post that in this area because it is distracting to our drivers.
TikTok is nerfed there. You cannot upload.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Work.
No, that was pretty cool. The Shibuya thing I thought was pretty nuts. Fuji Speedway was really cool. Did you guys get a chance to go check out any RC shops or any car stuff? What'd you snag? What was your one thing that you picked up from Japan that you're proud of?
Oh man, dude, we brought a lot of stuff back. We of course hit up like all of the Pokemon centers, which was really dope. We hit those up multiple times actually. There's so many goddamn plushies at my place because every time we went, I think Maggie picked out like 5 more. That was dope. Bought a lot of stuff at the show. I was really hoping to find something I think I said when we were going to go, bring something back for the S13. I really didn't find anything that would fit, that would make sense, unfortunately. But I did manage to buy an RC plane to bring back.
I don't know how you fit that in your suitcase.
The box got a little beat up, but the plane made it. It's a kit, but it is a made in Japan balsa kit, and it's a little glider actually. Cool. So really looking forward to building that. I was like, dude, we were going through, because like I said, it was the Tamiya hobby shop. Essentially, it was like their like big shop or like one of their big dealers for it. It was in Akihabara. It was about like an 11-minute walk from like the downtown. And I'm like, I want to go check this out. So like every time like I search stuff, like people are like, you got to go check this place out. So we did. And it was like a couple floors of stuff, and the one floor, like the whole one aisle was just like Kyosho model planes and a couple other ones. And I was just like walking down there. I'm like, dude, this is so sick. Like some of them were like old too, like that I remember like my dad like having in the hobby shop and stuff like back in the day, or like he'd be on the lookout for. I'm like, dude, these are like sitting like right here. That's so crazy, but they're big, right? They're like big RC planes. And then like we hit this one section, and there's just like a bunch, like from like floor to ceiling, just a bunch of like little boxes. I was like, well, what the hell are they? I thought like they were just like parts, or like maybe like a wing kit or something like that, or like spare part, whatever. And it was like pulling them out. I was like translating. I'm like, you say they're full kits, and they're like $30. I was like, this one looks like I could fit in a suitcase. We're gonna try it. So I snagged it. We got it home, so I'm really looking forward to building that. But dude, the amount of like RC car stuff over there is just insane too.
Bro, I bought 4.
You bought a model kit, didn't you?
Yeah, I brought 4.
Oh, I didn't know you got 4.
Yeah, I bought 4. Probably a mistake, to be honest. Nah. But I went out there, I bought it, brought it back, and I'm like looking at it, and I know I have to paint some stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much stuff, right? So
the whole thing.
Yeah, so I open the kit. Some stuff is black, and some stuff is blue, and some stuff is silver. And I'm like, oh, some of it is painted. But I know some stuff needs to be painted. Everything's in Japanese.
Yep.
Surprise. And it's a Tamiya kit. I got all these like motorsport related cars because I want to do like a video of like assembling it. I go online, I type it in. I'm like, what colors do I need to buy? Well...
About 40.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know the kit's $35, but I just spent like
paint's like 150.
Yeah, I spent like $200 on it all. And it's like, you need orange gloss, flat black matte color, gloss black, anthracite,
you never knew how many different silvers there are.
Shadow silver. Mica blue, flash yellow. I'm like, oh my God. And every single one of these little tiny things is like $8.
Yep.
And so then I'm like, okay, so I get all this.
But now you have them.
And then I go to the directions, and it's like, you need those. And then if you're going to like, use a spray gun, you need like a lacquer thinner to like mix it up.
Yep.
Don't even know how to do that. Whatever. Fine. Then I'm going through, I'm like, okay, got the lacquer thinner, got the paint. I'm going to go buy this gun so that I can spray it. Then it's like, you also need another type of paint for like the little, like...
Yeah, like an enamel.
Yeah, like an enamel. I'm like, okay, sounds good. How much enamel do I need? And it's like, you need these 6 things. And I'm like, okay. And then I get that done. It's like, oh, also, you need to have there's like not a primer, but there's like a type of primer that you use on... You also need to get that. So I'm pretty sure this like $40 car
Yep.
RC model thing is going to be like $300.
But it's gonna be sick.
That's what will make you like it so much, though, if you finish it. If you finish it.
So
you got 4 to build, so
I'll let you know how it goes.
To the
got 4 years worth
to the live stream.
Yeah, dude, for
assembling
real.
plastic models.
Yeah, it's time consuming, but it's fun.
Yeah, I bought a couple plastic models too. I found a huge Ace Combat fan. I played Ace Combat games growing up pretty much religiously. And there was a couple collaborations that Hasegawa did with Ace Combat recently, and I picked up a couple 30th anniversary model kits from that were like collaborated with them, and I thought that was super sick.
Oh.
So I'm gonna build those up. Maybe
do it up, dude. With that being said, we want to thank you guys for listening in to the MartiniWorks podcast.
Yeah, what the hell? Yappers over there never let me talk. I got
We'd
to
like
pick
to
up
thank
some
the
cool
final-
things.
Yeah, what'd you bring?
I'll be quick about it, unlike these guys that sit here and yap. No, one of my favorite core memories was going to the Pokemon Center with Maya. That was something that we've wanted to do for years and years, and we've watched videos of people going, so it's surreal to do that. So we picked up some goodies from there. Also went to some vinyl shops and got
so cool.
A Baby Metal vinyl, which is sick. If you haven't listened to Baby Metal, go do it. It's awesome.
They had a pop-up shop over there.
Yeah, which was super sick in Shibuya. And then also I got the Super Mario theme on vinyl officially from Nintendo, which I thought was really cool. I was so nervous about getting them back, but we got them back. And then just a bunch of trinkets. I got a lot of stuff at like this Blitz hat I'm wearing and like the top secret stuff. And then I also went to the Rays booth and sat in line forever to get through their merch, but I picked up some decals for the 4Runner and stuff that were like Volk Racing in Japanese and carbon fiber keychain that's Rays, because it was significantly cheaper there than when you try to order a actual authentic Rays sticker online. Oh my god, it's insane. But there it was like a normal sticker, so
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Well, then there you go. You know, finally Dakota lets us finish up the podcast after talking that whole time. No, it was an absolutely incredible time. We really hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you guys haven't yet, check out the Instagram or YouTube if you're out there to see all the shorts that the team did and all the cool cars that we got to see at Tokyo Auto Salon, and also just like outside of Tokyo Auto Salon. And if you guys are looking to get car parts, you know, obviously your support on MartiniWorks allowed, you know, this team to be able to go and to be able to share those stories. So thank you so much for your continued support. It means the absolute world. We see the notes section when you guys do place orders and you mention the podcast. That always means the world to us. We love reading and hearing those things. So thank you very much. And we do want to give one last shout out to actually a new sponsor of the MartiniWorks podcast for the next couple quarters, I would say. But it'll be forever because once they join, they usually never leave.
True.
We've talked about Melco Automotive for a good long time. Absolutely fantastic detailing company. We're going to continue to talk about them in different pieces of content and some of the builds that we do throughout the year. And we highly recommend their kits if you're looking to keep your car clean for the 2026 car show season. But we also want to introduce another partner, and that is MGI Racing Wheels. Motegi's been coming on board recently, getting more active in the aftermarket automotive scene. There's one right behind
a few of them behind
Dakota. There's one right
played
there.
Connect 4 with them.
Yeah. The red one right above me is their new Battle 6, right? And
they have awesome finishes.
And Motegi's, they're kind of coming onto the game super strong. They've been a part of the industry for a good long while now, but they've really been trying to figure out what makes them special and how they're going to go about, you know, marketing in 2026 and beyond. And we've actually ran some of their wheels in the past. We like them, but they're coming out even better. Flow formed. And one of the really special things about their wheels that is different than other wheels is that they actually use an automotive grade paint for their wheels, and then they apply a clear over top of it. So there are different types of wheel paints that you can use, but wheel paints are typically a little bit more of a flatter finish, and that's because it's just a more resilient finish. Because if you want to have something that's more glossy, you typically have to apply a stronger clear over it. And at the factory, anytime a wheel is sitting on the production line longer than normal, it costs more money. So Motegi did that, and they said, screw it, we're going to do it anyway. And that is why you see these really interesting colors like this green that's got a really, really nice deep finish to it. And then this red that's got a massive amount of flake on it. You can't actually see it on the camera, but it's a really nice
like
touch.
Candy red almost.
Yeah, and then
they
actually carve into the lip for the Battle 6 and the Motegi, and you've actually seen Volk do that stuff now too because it helps prevent counterfeits. But overall, super excited to have Motegi a part of the MartiniWorks podcast. If you guys and gals are looking for something that's different, they've got 3 spokes, they've got 6 spokes, they got really cool stuff. floor formed, lightweight, super strong, and in stock. Really good price as well. So if you're looking to get a different set of wheels this spring or summer, you can hit up Motegi over at MartiniWorks.com.
Heck yeah.
See you later.
Have a great weekend. Bye.